Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again on this very special day, being the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Now, even as we sit 20 years from that day, the future of America is looking worse every day. Those who are observant can see that something bad is going to happen soon. Hopefully nothing like the events we're marking today. But if it does, are you prepared? Do you have enough food, water, and supplies to get you through hard times? If not, check out My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's #1 preparedness company, and they've served millions of American families. Right now, you can save 25% off their popular 4-week emergency food kit, which will keep you well fed with 4 weeks worth of breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks, totaling over 2,000 calories a day. This food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage, so it will be there when you need it. In fact, you might need it sooner than that. So don't wait. Go to preparewithjericho.com and claim your 4-week emergency food kit. You'll save 25% off if you act now. That's preparewithjericho.com. Don't wait. Do it today. Today, 20 years after 9/11. And I want you to let me know in the comment section, where were you? What were you doing? How old were you? Because I think our age gives us a different view on things. You know, some people, I put a picture up on my Instagram, and I asked people where they were, what were they were doing, and I read some of the comments, and some people were, I was in 5th grade, 4th grade, I was 21 years old, I was going to work, I was teaching, I was stationed somewhere. So, you know, if you're a little kid, you're going to look at if you were a little kid at the time, you're going to look at 9/11 totally different. You might not get the total impact of what happened. Now, later, as you grow up and got older, you're like, oh shit, I realized what that meant. But to live in that moment and be an adult or be old enough to be aware of what's going on was something special. And today, I think I'm going to talk to my daughter about 9/11. My son's only 5, but she's going on 10. So I think she can understand what's part of what happened and what it means, but she needs to know about that part of our history. So I'm going to talk to her today. But your age would give you a different view and a different feel of what that day was. And there had never been anything like that on our soil, taking that many Americans. Pearl Harbor, other things, yes, but nothing quite like that. And let me tell you guys what I was doing. So I was going to work. It was around 7 o'clock in the morning, California time. And I'm leaving, and I was almost parallel with the TV. I forgot to turn it off. And I kind of look back at the screen, and you see the first plane hit. I was like, oh shit, what a terrible accident. Like, how the hell, even walking downstairs going, how the hell was that fucking pilot hit the building? I didn't see any fog or nothing, but just wow. At that point, what a terrible accident. And also at that point, only thinking about the dead people in the plane, obviously, because it was a fireball, and the people in that part of the building that it hit, not thinking that this Goliath of a building is going to come down, let alone both of them. So I'm thinking, man, I'll catch this. I know they're going to be talking about it on the news. Let me catch this on the news, see what's going on. And I get on there, and they're talking about the first tower hitting. And, oh my, did you see this? Oh my God. And then you turn, well, let me see. Oh, that was a news channel. So I said, let me see if they're talking about it on the regular music channel, you know, the R&B hip hop station that I ended up working for in the future. They were talking about it. The country station was talking about it. The Spanish station was talking about it. It was everywhere, but I still hadn't gotten the full impact of what was going on. I didn't know that it was a terrorist attack, and the second one hadn't hit. So I'm driving to work, and by the time I get to work, man, the second plane hit. What, a second plane? This was on purpose? We're being attacked? Who's crazy enough to attack America? Who's crazy enough to go into the front yard with the biggest, baddest dog you've ever seen and slap that dog in the face? Who is crazy enough? Who has a strong enough wish to die to do that to America? So I still hadn't seen anything. This was before we all had HD TVs and cameras in our pocket. Before, if this was going on now, your phone would be blowing up. You'd be getting all kinds of notices from the different news outlets you might follow, the different social media platforms. There would be this much time between it happening and you knowing what happened and what it looked like. And I think we're better for that. I think we're better for something like that not hitting us so quickly. Like it's almost like if somebody you care about is sick and they end up passing away, well, close to their death, you've kind of been saying goodbye to them every day anyway. So it's not such a shock to the system. So I think it was the same kind of thing. I think not seeing those images right away, it kind of almost prepared you for what you were going to see a little bit. So I get to work, I go out on a delivery, and I want to get something to drink, and there's this little corner store. And I see people spilling out of the doorway onto the sidewalk. And by this point, there's something in the air. You see people talking in groups as you drive by. It's something happened. Everybody's feeling something. So I get out, I go in, and I look, and it's just showing that first plane, boom, that I had saw. But then the second plane, and then hearing the reaction of the newscasters, the anchors who were covering it. They're shocked, they're screaming, they're crying. This shit is real. These people are normally so polished and scripted. This was real shit for everybody. So I see that, I just stood there in disbelief. Wow. These people flew airplanes into the two Twin Towers, and then they came down. We've all seen the pictures. The shout out to my man Tom, third class petty officer, United States Navy, the world's finest Navy. He posted a picture. You can see from the satellite pictures. You can see the plume of smoke coming from New York City. The people covered in dust. The streets covered in dust. You're not used to seeing these images in America. These are the images you see after a catastrophic earthquake in a third world country. People covered in dust, walking around in disarray, disbelief. The screaming, the sirens. Somebody posted something today, and actually I saw it before today, but it reminded me. There's a fire engine going across a bridge toward the Twin Towers. I'm not sure which bridge it was. I believe it was a George Washington. All you New Yorkers, let me know what bridge it was if you've seen the picture. But all these people not knowing that they were going to their death. These officers, these firefighters, these EMTs, the people who got on the plane not knowing that that was it. That was it for them. And the cleanup, the twisted metal, the smoke, the recovery of the bodies. I called the Red Cross to see if I could go down there and help recover, help do something. They said, no, we only need people with medical experience at this time, blah, blah, blah. And it was just something. It was you had to be there. This was, and I don't even know how to put it into words. The next day, people still in shock. Almost, it was surreal. It was almost like you're walking around with this ringing in your ear. You couldn't hear nothing. It was, but the one good thing that came from it was that sense of camaraderie, that sense of togetherness. And we need something to do that, to snap us back into that patriotism, back to that love for our country and our love for each other. Now, I'm not saying it needs to be another 9/11, but in the days and the weeks and months following 9/11, that was the feeling. You look at another person, perfect stranger, it's almost like, yeah, we're going to get those motherfuckers who did that. So then we find out there's some group called Al Qaeda. Is this a person's name? Is this dude's name Al Qaeda? No, it's not. It's a group. A terrorist group. So then we start learning about Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda, Al-Qaeda. I even bought a roll of toilet paper with Osama bin Laden's face on it. That's another thing. So then this fool puts out a video taking responsibility for it. Then we get into the war in Afghanistan, the war on terror. Then was the first time we've seen something, well, not we, but as a society, we saw someone's head get cut off live, Nick Berg. That changed the way that we traveled. Gone are the days of pulling up to the curb, taking your time, walking the person all the way to the gate, being at the gate when they get off the plane. Now you got to wait at the baggage claim. All these things happen that changed our lives. Now, when you watch a movie pre-9/11 that has an airport scene, you're like, oh man, those were the days. Before you had to kick your damn shoes off and damn near get butt naked at the TSA to go through, knowing damn well you ain't no terrorist. Man, was it 2003? My mom and I went back to Baltimore to visit her side of the family. And they had the nerve to pull my mom aside for a check to be inspected and wave the wand and have her take her shoes off. Knowing damn well nobody that looked like my mom blew up shit. And my mom was a United States Army veteran. But that was something else that happened after 9/11. So the war in Afghanistan and how fucked up it is, how the war in Afghanistan started. Or I'm sorry, not started, ended. It was fucked up the way it started with 9/11, but the way it ended. All that death, all that destruction, all that money. And at the end, when it's all said in 20 years, blood, sweat, tears, images plastered across our TVs, our computers. How many damn times did you see Sergeant so-and-so, Lieutenant so-and-so, Private so-and-so? Some picture of them in their uniform next to the American flag. They died today. An IED. An attack. Suicide bomber. All that shit. All the rifles sticking in the ground upside down with boots and a helmet on top. And the way that we left. Bye. But don't you worry. We have a parting gift for you. Taliban. That was another new word in our vocabulary. Who the fuck is a Taliban? Now we know. Now it's part of our lexicon. But before we go, guys, don't worry. We're going to leave you with, guess. $70 billion? No. 75? No. 80? No. $85 billion worth of our top of the line, cutting edge shit. Here you go. Oh, and keep some of our citizens too. And we'll work closely with you and walk on eggshells and hope that you give us our people back. Ain't that some shit? What if you loan somebody some money and you got to be nice to them to get your money back? No, even better. I let you borrow some shit. I let you borrow my hedge trimmers. And I got to be nice and hopefully not piss you off, hoping that you give me back my property. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It should be Taliban. Give us our people by this time tomorrow or you're dead. All of you. We know where you are. Give us our people or you're dead. Not we're working closely and they're being very business-like. This ain't no business. This is war. This is a fight. This is a battle. We're here to collect our people. And if we can't collect our people, we'll kill you and collect our people. What the fuck? But that's so weird and so sad that we sit here 20 years later after the worst attack on American soil. And the war that started it, or the war that it started, to have it end like this today. People, I say this when I do my videos on Veterans Day, but I'm going to say it today. Fuck and feed a veteran, especially if they served after 9/11. Because they went over there and did what they had to do voluntarily, and what a slap in the face that they got 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever that bullshit happened, whenever we pulled out all the guns first before we got the civilians out who don't have no damn guns, and left them with some of the most violent, bloodthirsty barbarians this planet's ever seen. No, this isn't a Hollywood script. This shit is real. So, I know I ran a little long, but whatever. It's where the moment took me. So I do want to give a special shout out, special birthday shout out to my man Tom. He hit me up and he said, man, this is all I want for my birthday. So it's the least I could do. So this is for my boy Tom. Happy birthday. He wanted me to say 2 things, and I will gladly. Fuck Joe Biden and fuck Gavin Bang Your Wife Newsom. Happy birthday, man. Also, I want to, it's a sad day in remembrance of all the people that died, lost their lives, not only in 9/11, but all the servicemen and women after that. Let's end this on a good note, shall we? So, the other day, my kids, one part of this was to see them interact with each other, but then to see them be just regular siblings. And we all experience this if you grow up with siblings. So first, my son was eating something, and my daughter says, what do you have in your mouth? And he goes, I'm eating diarrhea. That shit was hilarious. And then we're at the table, and my son had a mouthful of food and started talking. What did your parents always tell you? Don't talk with your mouth full of food. So he starts talking, and he bites the inside of his lip. And anytime he scratches himself or something, is it bleeding? Is it bleeding? So he pulls his lip down. He asks his sister, who's sitting across from him, is it bleeding? Is it bleeding? She goes, oh my God, it's bleeding. Get up. I'll run to the bathroom. It's bleeding. Well, it is. And he gets all scared and runs to the bathroom and gets in the mirror and realizes she was lying to him. She starts laughing. I was like, perfect. These kids are going to be all right. They're perfectly normal. Because my brother would do shit like that to me all the time. So let's end this with a little story time with Uncle Jericho. I'm trying to tell you a story. So, and I'm going to upload this to YouTube right away. I know normally I put them on my website first, but I want this to be out on YouTube, of course, today, being that it's the 20th anniversary of 9/11. And again, let me know in the comment section, where were you? What were you doing? How did you experience 9/11? So, and this story is gross, so if you're eating or something like that, stop or pause this. So it's about 10 years ago, and we're going to call this story The Iced Tea and a Fly. How about that? So, back when McDonald's started this thing where you could get any size drink for $1. So it's a hot day by Central Coast of California standards. And I was like, man, let me get an iced tea with a slice of lemon. Extra ice. That sounds good. So I was off work. Hell yeah. Went through the drive-thru, got my iced tea, extra ice, a wedge of lemon. I was like, cool. So I take the lid off, squeeze the lemon in there, stir it around. It was perfect. Sweet, tart, everything. Nice and cold. So I killed it. And I left the cup in the cup holder. So the next day, I come out to my car. I'm driving again. I was like, I saw there was some ice in there still, but some of it had melted a little bit, and there was some, watery iced tea at the bottom. I don't know. I didn't care. I was thirsty. So I pick up the cup, and I drink it, and something went in my mouth. So I thought, when you piece of lemon, those little, little pods, little juice pods inside of a lemon and shit. So I thought it was one of those. So you get it in your tooth like that, right? So I'm like, man, this is awfully chewy for a little tiny piece of lemon, huh? So against my better judgment, I spit it out my hand, and I looked, and it was a fly. I had been on a fly. That shit was disgusting. What's the moral of the story, kids? The moral is when you're done drinking something that has an entrance into it, get rid of it or prepare to get a fly in your mouth. Now, let me get home with my beautiful wife and kids. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Get your Jericho Green notification tone link in the description box. Utilize the PayPal link, Teespring link, jerichogreen.net, and Rumble. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.